Hello and thanks for staying with us. Customs management continues to wage war against importers of fake drugs into the country. Also on customs reports, the president of COA and the controller in charge of Ogun State speaks on the Greenland border just introduced by government. Plus more report. I am Egeseme Edine. Stay tuned. The Customs Controller General has warned would-be importers of expired drugs to stop trading the business in the country. Handed out the warning in Lagos.
Corridors in Nigeria. In recent months, the service has been working closely with government agencies and industry stakeholders to address the persistent challenge of port congestion and improve efficiency across Nigerian Maritime Gateway. Measures such as the recent launch of the Green Channel project at the Lekki Deep Sea Port are part of our broader strategy to accelerate cargo clearance for compliant traders and strengthen enforcement against high-risk consignments. Our engagement today should therefore be seen as part of that continuing effort to modernize our cargo control processes. As the volume of trade passing through Nigeria ports continues to grow, the responsibility placed on the Nigeria Customs Service becomes even greater. Thousands of containers pass through these ports every day, carrying goods that support businesses, sustain industries, and drive our national economy. While our mandate requires us to facilitate legitimate trade, we must also ensure that our ports are not exploited by criminal networks attempting to introduce dangerous, prohibited, or falsely declared goods into the country. Over the past year, the service has intensified the deployment of technology-driven enforcement tools, particularly the non-intrusive inspection system, scanning, to strengthen cargo examination procedures and improve compliance at our ports. These systems enable officers to examine containerized cargo rapidly and more efficiently. They also allow us to detect anomalies in declarations and also identify suspicious consignments without unnecessarily disrupting legitimate trade flows. And I talk about our current data. From our operations in Apapa, this data shows that 3,236 consignments were processed through the orange channel, that is scanning, 5,490 through the yellow channel, that is where we use documentary checks, while a significantly higher number of 21,373 consignments were subjected to full physical examination in the red channel. Additionally, 1,118 consignments passed through the blue channel and 149 through the green channel, reflecting varying levels of facilitation based on compliance and risk profiling. This distribution clearly indicates that physical examinations still dominate cargo control procedure, reinforcing the need for us to expand the use of scanning technology. Strengthening non-intrusive inspection and combining it with intelligence-driven risk management will enable the service concentrate physical examinations on very high-risk shipments and facilitate faster clearance for compliance traders. Our strategic objective is therefore to significantly increase the proportion of cargo subjected to scanning across all our major entry ports in Nigeria, and before the end of the year, including Apapa, Tinkan Island, Port Harcourt, Onne, Calabar, and other operational commands. Our strategic objective before the end of the year would be for us to reduce the numbers of containers that will subject to physical inspection and scale up those that we scan. It is important to emphasize that achieving this target will depend largely on the level of compliance demonstrated by traders and other stakeholders within the port system. I just had a meeting with the terminal operators here, and our discussions centered on how they can improve the process of stemming down containers right from the vessels and taking them straight to scanning before they stack them in their terminals. This discharge, scan, and stack model is expected to help us improve the ratio of scanning to physical examination from the present 30 to 70% to something like 60 to 40, hopefully within the next 6 months. So I was talking about the fact that to achieve this, it will depend largely on the level of compliance demonstrated by traders and other stakeholders within our port system. As compliance improves, customs will be able to rely more on technology-driven inspection and risk management rather than time-consuming physical examination. This is why we strongly encourage traders to continue improving their compliance culture and take advantage of the Authorized Economic Operator Program, which provides interested or trusted traders with the opportunity for no examination of their containers.
The Customs Controller General has also said that the Nigerian Customs Service will continue to promote the well-being of officers who have just retired from the service. It speaks more on a number of issues.
The Comptroller General of Customs, CGC, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has commended retiring Deputy Comptroller General Dera Nnadi and Assistant Comptroller General Kingsley Egu for their decades of service to the nation. CGC Adeniyi gave the commendation during a pulling out ceremony held at the Nigerian Customs Command and Staff College in Gwagwalada to honor the outgoing senior officers. The ceremony brought together members of the Customs management team, senior officers, colleagues, and well-wishers. Adeniyi affirmed that the occasion provided an opportunity for the service to recognize the professional contributions and dedications of the retiring officers. Represented by the Deputy Comptroller General of Customs in charge of Training and Doctrine Command, Sulaiman Chiroma, the CGC noted that careers in the service are defined not only by the ranks attained, but also by the values officers uphold and the impact they make on the institution.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Apapa Customs Command has foiled a massive codeine smuggling at the port.
Officers of the Nigerian Customs Service, Apapa Area Command, in collaboration with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted 2 containers laden with codeine-based syrup valued at 3.398 billion naira at the Apapa port in Lagos. The seizure comes barely 5 days after the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, visited the port and warned that Apapa would no longer serve as a safe haven for smugglers and criminal syndicates disguising illicit cargo as legitimate trade. In a statement, the Customs Area Comptroller of the Apapa Command, Emmanuel Oshoba, disclosed that the interception followed a swift intelligence-driven operation carried out.
Kuma President has officially inaugurated green ambassadors to lead border growth in the field of environment development in the country. He was accompanied by the controller in charge of Ogun 1.
In a strategic move to intertwine border security with environmental stewardship, the national president of the Customs Officers' Wives Association, COA, Kikelomo Adeniyi, officially inaugurated a cohort of green border ambassadors on Monday at the Command Secondary School in Idiroko.
A national program designed to promote environmental responsibility within customs, communities, and beyond. And today, we are taking that initiative a step further. Today, we launched the Adopt a School campaign. Our very own Nigeria Customs School is a beneficiary of that. And we're going to be adopting 250 students that will be representing the 5 commands that are present here. The Apapa Command, the KLT Command, the Idiroko here, and FOU Zone A. We also have the PTML Command. So those 250 students will be our green ambassador. So when we think of protecting the environment, many people imagine governments, we imagine scientists and large organizations. But the most powerful agents of change are often young people. When a child learns to plant a tree, that child becomes a protector of nature. When a student learns to reduce waste, that student influences an entire household. When a school becomes environmentally responsible, an entire community begins to change. That is why this campaign focuses on schools, because the future of our environment sits in classrooms and in your homes.
The ceremony, hosted by the Nigerian Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command, marks a significant expansion of COA's mission, transitioning from traditional humanitarian support to active ecological advocacy within Nigeria's frontier communities.
Today is a very special day. It is special not because we are gathered in a hall or in this school compound. It is special because today we are planting something much bigger than trees. Today we are planting responsibility. We are planting awareness and leadership in the hearts of our children. Across the world, communities are facing environmental challenges that affect how we live, how we learn, and how we grow. Flooding destroys homes. Plastic waste pollutes our land and our water. Rising temperature affects our health and agriculture. These challenges may sound big and distant, but the truth is that the solutions begins in the smallest places. It begins with you and I. It begins with the kids. It begins in our homes and our communities and our schools.
Addressing a diverse gathering of customs personnel, educators, and students, the acting Customs Area Comptroller for Ogun 1, Deputy Comptroller Olukayode Afeni, characterized the initiative as a historic milestone for the region.
Your visit today is not only historic but symbolic. It underscores the deep commitment of COA under your purposeful leadership to promoting environmental sustainability, community development, and the welfare of families within the customs community, especially along our border corridors. The Green Border, as we understand it, aligns perfectly with global and national calls for environmental responsibility. Here at Ogun 1 Command, we are deeply conscious of the delicate balance between trade facilitation, border security, and environmental preservation. This initiative therefore comes as a welcome complement to our operational goals, particularly as we continue to strengthen partnership with our host communities for peace, security, and prosperity.
Ogun 1 Command has seized goods worth over 1.3 billion naira from smugglers operating along the nation's borderline.
The Idiroko Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has intercepted 2 rare 19th century artifacts alongside several prohibited items with a duty-paid value of 1.35 billion naira as part of intensified anti-smuggling operations along the Nigerian-Benin Republic border. The acting area controller of the command, Olukayode Afeni, disclosed this during a press conference at the command's headquarters in Idiroko, Ogun State. Afeni said the recovered artifacts, believed to be of significant historical and cultural importance, were subjected to expert appraisal before being formally handed over to the National Museum, Abeokuta, for preservation.
I am delighted to inform you today that, true to our word, the command has sustained the momentum and recorded remarkable achievements within this period. Through intelligence-driven operations, resilience, and the unwavering commitment of our gallant officers, we successfully made the following seizures. You will recall that on the 16th of December 2025, we paraded a total of 2,090 kegs of smuggled vegetable oil at 25 liters each. Sequel to this exploit, and in our continuous effort at stamping out unhealthy competition with our local dedicated producer of vegetable oil in Nigeria, officers of the Command on Precise Intelligence Patrol around Agbara axis on the 11th March 2026 successfully intercepted a truck with registration number APP470YD. Upon inspection, the vehicle was found to be conveying 2,539 kegs of vegetable oil at 25 liters each. Preliminary investigation revealed that they were smuggled through the creeks in trickles. Full investigation is underway. This significant seizure followed an earlier operation on March 4, 2026, where the command intercepted a Sino truck loaded with 4,325 cartons of foreign spaghetti at 10 kg each, highlighting a persistent trend in the smuggling of essential commodities. Gentlemen of the press, this series of successful interventions underscores our unwavering commitment to suppressing smuggling. By removing these illicit goods from the market, we are ensuring a competitive trade environment that protects our local vegetable oil industry and safeguard the health of our citizens in line with the mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Other seizures recorded within the period under review include 1,204 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 2,547 parcels of cannabis sativa of different sizes. The Ghana Lao strain commands a luxury price tag to match its heavy heating profile. 5,455 kegs of PMS, that is 13,625 liters. 4 live pangolins, which have been handed over to the Wildlife Conservation Center. 36 cartons of Bardinet syrup, 8 packs of perfume oil, 13 pieces of used tire, 5 bags of imported sugar, 8 bales of second-hand clothing, 15 sacks of used clothing, 5 sacks of used lady handbag, 2 sacks of used footwear, 2 used vehicles, and 2 pieces of antiquities. The total duty paid value is 1,350,751,000 naira only.
He explained that the recovery of the artifacts demonstrates the command's commitment to preventing the illicit trafficking of Nigeria's cultural heritage while also safeguarding the nation's economy and territorial border.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of FOU Zone A has paid a working visit to the State Commissioner of Police in Ogun State, NDLA Commandant, and the Alake of Egbaland in Ogun State. He speaks more on the visit.
The Nigerian Customs Service FOU Zone A Comptroller Gambo Liu paid strategic visits to the Ogun State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA, the Ogun State Command of the Nigerian Police Force, and the Palace of the Alake of Egbaland. These engagements with key security stakeholders of the state serves as part of renewed efforts to combat the growing influx of illicit drugs, unregistered pharmaceuticals, and other forms of smuggling within the Ogun border region, where discussions centered on strengthening cooperation in the fight against drug trafficking and cross-border crimes. During the visit to the NDLEA command, Aliyu revealed that the unit had recorded significant seizures of cannabis indica since he assumed office. According to him, over 60% of the more than 2 tons intercepted by the unit within the past 3 months were traced to the Ogun corridor.
This visit comes against the backdrop of our recent coordinated onslaught against the smuggling of illicit drugs along the corridor, especially cannabis indica, which contravenes Section 55(1)(c) of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023, which most unfortunately culminated into the demise of one of our gallant officers. The Nigeria Customs Service will continue to leverage on our robust interagency collaboration and coordination with sister agencies to bring these saboteurs to justice, crippling their supply chain in a deliberate effort to rid the nation of substance abuse that threatens our peace and development. The Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigerian Customs Service remains committed to delivering on the mandate of the Comptroller General of Customs, whose zero tolerance for the proliferation of illicit imports harmful to the Nigerian state is sacrosanct. It is in this vein that we seek the cooperation of your command on this onerous task, as we realize that we cannot succeed in this alone. We visit today to once again extend our hand of fellowship, advancing the well-established memorandum of understanding between both agencies.
Jurisdiction is the same, but for him to come all the way from Lagos, having in mind that his jurisdiction also covers here, and want to relate with law enforcement organizations that operates in this jurisdiction, underscores what he had said, his effort to make sure we expand the memorandum of understanding that we sign between NDLEA and the Nigerian Customs.
During the visit to the NDLEA command, Aliyu disclosed that the unit had recorded significant seizures of cannabis indica since he assumed office. According to him, over 60% of the more than 2 tons intercepted by the unit within the past 3 months were traced to the Ogun corridor. Commenting during the visit at the Ogun State Police Command, the Commissioner of Police, Lanre Ogunlowo, commended the NCS for its border security efforts, while acknowledging shared challenges, including the killing of customs officers by smugglers, a matter he said the police were still investigating.
We are on top of the situation, and fortunately, the state government is always available to support us. I can say that loudly. There is no time we have need for the intervention of His Excellency, Governor Dapo Abiodun, that it does not rise to the occasion. That makes our work much easier, and we are continuing to leverage on that. So thank you for finding time to come here. I can assure you, at all times we are available. At all times we are available to support your cause.
The enemies of state are not relenting in efforts to undermine our security architecture through every detour imaginable. In the face of such relentless threats, our unity stands as our greatest strength. Timely intelligence sharing and heightened situational awareness are the essential ingredients in modern modern crime detection and prevention. Our desire must always be to act preemptively, staying a step ahead rather than reactively or subjectively.
In furtherance of its commitment to enhancing international customs cooperation and advancing trade facilitation, the Nigerian Customs Service has strengthened its strategic engagement with His Majesty's Revenue and Customs HMRC of the United Kingdom. This development followed a high-level bilateral meeting held in London on 18th March 2026 under the framework of the Nigeria-United Kingdom Enhanced Trade and Investment Partnership (ETIP) on the margins of the state visit of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to the United Kingdom. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, and Ms. Megan Shaw, Head of International Customs and Border Engagements at HMRC, led the bilateral engagements. Discussion centered on advancing customs modernization, strengthening data transparency in bilateral trade flows, and expanding operational cooperation between both administrations with a view to improving efficiency and integrity across the Nigeria-United Kingdom trade corridor.
Just before I round up this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where concerning what billions of naira was seized by one of the command in the southwest. For me, Egeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.